This is a Fox News alert. New information just in from our State Department. In a statement, they say all remaining United States citizens who wish to depart Egypt on a United States government flight and who are able to do so should plan to do so immediately. The State Department says citizens should not delay evacuating the country. Now, here is Senator John McCAIN. Have you met President Mubarak?
On numerous occasions,
What's
yes.
he like?
He's a military man. He was, as you know, close to Anwar Sadat. He was a steadfast friend of ours. Of course, he did some things that we, may not have totally agreed with, but he sealed off Gaza. He has been a staunch opponent of Al-Qaeda, has helped us in our fight against them and terrorism, to his own benefit as well as ours. I think for the first 10 or 12 years of his presidency of Egypt, he was very good. Power corrupts, power intoxicates, and I'm afraid that he lost touch with the people of Egypt and also made this fundamental mistake of not moving towards a more free and open society and democracy in his country. And now, obviously, they're paying the fiddler.
I guess, and so I try to put myself in the shoes of the people on the street in Cairo, and I think, okay, if Musharraf steps down, or not Mubarak, Mubarak. If Mubarak steps down, he may be seen as having been a puppet of the United States because he's been so agreeable with the United States, so cooperative with the United States. So I guess I fear that the people on the streets of Cairo or streets of Egypt are going to turn on us.
I think that if they believe that we are propping up Mubarak, then that anti-Americanism could rapidly accelerate. There's no good answers here, Greta, but the best answer is to do what we can to assist the only institution that's capable of doing so, the Egyptian army, to bring about a period of calm, to start a free and fair election process and democratization process that will, in the long run, lead to a stable Egypt. And I, again, worry a great deal about the Muslim Brotherhood, an Iranian scenario, or one of those where the radicals hijack an election. But as compared with what's going on now, it's the only good, it's the least bad option. But look, I and others have warned for a long time about Egypt had to move forward with democracy. Russ Feingold and I had a resolution calling for more democratization and human rights in Egypt. Madeleine Albright, who's the head of the National Democratic NDI, and I am the chairman of the IRI, International Republican Institute, called for observers in the last election. The Egyptians rebuffed that. And unfortunately, our government has not been strong enough on the issue of human rights and democracy in Egypt.
But the problem is democracy in Egypt may get us a result that is very regrettable to us in the long run. I mean, that's sort of the thing we're all focusing on. We think of a democracy as that we're going to get a democracy like ours. We could get a democracy with someone we really don't like and who doesn't like us.
That is a great risk, but you can't go backwards. You can't install another Mubarak. And so the risk is obviously a radical Islamic group or person rule Egypt. That's the big threat. But that's the real only option we have.
Is that why we supported Mubarak so long? Because we feared what might come down the path?
I think we supported Mubarak for so long because he was our steadfast ally. He helped us in the Middle Eastern, in the Israeli-Palestinian peace process. He was helpful against our fight against Al-Qaeda. There are many reasons why he was a close ally, but we left out the fact that he continued to have an autocratic rule, and sooner or later, whether it be in the streets of Tehran or whether it be in Egypt or Tunisia, human yearnings are universal. And sooner or later, particularly in these days of instant communication and spread of knowledge and information, that's going to happen. You cannot keep the lid on without it blowing off.
All right, let me switch to back home. Healthcare. that certainly is something that is a fierce topic here in the United States Senate. What's going to happen?
Well, we're going to lose a vote on, we lost a vote today on repeal of Obamacare. Now we're going to go at it piece by piece. Still, a majority of the American people don't like the bill. I was very pleased to see the President, State of the Union, saying he's ready to work on medical malpractice reform. I was stunned because we tried that for so long and were rejected by the Democrats. So I think that over time we will probably have a pretty good shot at dismantling Obamacare. And this latest court decision, I think, has impacted the process already. And most experts I know think it may be upheld by the United States Supreme Court.
But here's the big fat lie about the Supreme Court. They could decide that case in 30 or 60 days and put all of us out of our misery one way or the other, whether it's constitutional or not. And this is going to drag on for years and cost us lots of money, and no matter what preparations we make, whether it's for it or against it, depending on the ruling. The Supreme Court has a rule where they can reach down and grab it now and decide this once and for all, and yet this is going to drag on.
Well, let's hope that the Supreme Court, as in the Gore Bush case and others, realize that this is an issue that they should take up on an expedited process. And given everything that's at stake here, I would hope they would consider that. But they've done things that I don't understand in the past.
Well, it would be it would be so much more efficient. I mean, that's the sort of the insanity of it. Because we know, everyone agrees that's where it's going to be decided. And why do we want to spend years going in a particular direction that could be wrong, for whatever the ruling would be? Why don't we just use some old-fashioned common sense and just let them decide it?
Well, the next time I see one of the Supreme Court justices, I will convey your message, and I'm in total agreement.